Hello, everybody. I wanted to jump on again to give you guys an idea of the energy that's going on right now, especially with the Saturn retrograde that's happening, which is a good thing. It may not feel really great right now, but it's kind of when we're going over, we reach the top of that hill, and then we're going to start heading into the different pattern, which is really good. We also are on a very, very high spiritual energetic day from a numerology standpoint. When you couple those things together, you can get a theme of sort of what's being brought up in each one of us. So first, Saturn, we know and we talked about in May, the full sequence for May, the full discussion of May and what's going to be going on. At this point in the month, Saturn was going to be turning retrograde. When any planet goes retrograde, it sends a little bit of a wavelength of what it normally would do in its normal energy, and it turns into almost the opposite of that energy. So we feel that at all times, because remember, we're connected and aligned with all the energy that's around us, especially the more we intensify and really get into clearing our energy fields as everything is going on right now, as all of this energy is sort of moving and in motion, and we are kind of, clearing ourselves, and we're becoming more aware of what we truly are. So throughout that process, we're going to feel that more because we're going to be more connected to everything around us. So for Saturn, it is the planet of being sort of secluded, being within yourself. It can be lonely. It can be like the monk that goes and travels and sits in the hills and just meditates the whole time. It has huge spiritual elements, but it also is a little bit of reclusive. And sometimes it can take on this feeling of being all alone and gloom and doom, and this is never going to work out, and I'm just going to be all by myself, and I don't care what anybody else thinks, and sort of coming into this vagabond feeling of I'm going to just be for me. And a lot of that breaks things down within us. So for the beginning of this month, flowing through the cycle that was here, we were going through this releasing of things that no longer served us, this letting go of things that, can't be a part of where we're headed. And that can be really painful. When that energy goes into retrograde, which is beginning today, that's going to start lifting a little bit. We shed what we needed to. Now it's going to be how to recalibrate and start from here. So I urge all of you to keep a mindset of how do I focus on where I go from this point forward, instead of constantly grabbing from the energy of what is leaving or what is currently being stripped away, because that's going to keep you locked in a pattern that you won't be comfortable with. And you're going to feel a lot of these shifts a lot more. The other major thing I want to talk about is the power of the number 11. So it is not only the 11th day of the month. If you also add up the full numbers, so if you go 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0, you'll come up to a number 11. In numerology, there are specific numbers that carry very high frequencies. So the number 11 is one of them. And when a number carries a very high frequency, it's almost like you're required or expected to do more, or you're required or expected to really step up to the plate. With 11, it's about this intensified feeling of being part of a connection with people, about being a couple, about working together, about understanding the only way you're going to get anything done is if you meet halfway. And this is where we're going to be finding some of our biggest trials moving forward with everything that we've learned. We have a tendency to want to pick sides. We have a tendency to want to not only pick a side or pick whatever we think is right, we want to attack the other viewpoint to a point where it gets so broken down that we force it to join our viewpoint. We have done that in the course of our history, from the beginning of records, from the beginning of time that we can currently recall. We have always tried to force other people, other things to do only what we want them to do. And I've got a secret for all of you. It hasn't worked once. So for centuries upon centuries, upon lifetimes, attacking the other side, demanding that you're right, putting your foot down has never worked. And it's not going to work now. It's going to tear things down further. So I urge all of you on an 11 day to harness the energy of what has passed with that Saturn, but to also harness the energy of what the other side says, no matter what it is. I mean, if you go to the grocery store and people are insisting upon foods that are organic and people are not, instead of attacking the other person's viewpoint, say, you know what, I completely understand what's going on here. Some people have different preferences, and that's okay. I have to be a little bit careful with my language because, you know, we're also seeing that huge divide go on with even being able to speak certain things in a forum like the internet that is supposed to be really free for people. If I say certain words, then my video will get buried, or if you notice, it'll only run for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it will cut and continue to buffer. I have to be very careful about certain things that I say. But even what's currently going on in the world right now, people who think it should be handled point A, people who think it should be handled point B, instead of attacking those sides to figure out, to force the other side to come to yours, instead try to respect the other person's viewpoint. Because when you attack somebody else on the other side, it makes you know better than the energy you're trying to heal. So if you can really sit back and think about how far that goes, if you are going to attack somebody because they don't think the way that you do, really you're attacking them because your fear is you're going to be attacked for how you feel, but you're perpetuating the exact same energy. So when you are leading with that vibrational frequency of attacking, then you are going to open yourself up to the frequency of being attacked. So you're just going to get stuck in this cyclical process that's spinning and spinning and spinning. And we already have been seeing that. So if you are a Democrat or if you are a Republican, I urge you, two opposite ends of the spectrum, take a moment today to read something about the other side and work on your emotions about not getting angry and accepting that someone needs to be where they are because that's what they've chosen. And what we've built and what we're built upon is having free will. So they are allowed to choose that. If you are someone who's on one side of the debate of, I'll spell this one because this one's terrible, but ANTI-VAXX. So if you're part of that debate, then take a moment to read something from the other side that feels that it's necessary, and then understand, okay, this is why these people think this is necessary. This is, or don't understand, it's okay. But what you have to try and do is get you to a point of love, because when you project love to them, then they project love to you, and then meeting in the middle becomes a really beautiful place. And that's all about the number 11. That's also about the number 2. So we are in 2020. So we have 2020. So even though there's two twos, those twos vibrate to the energy of 2 being a couple, getting together, being connected, 2 couples, connected, respect, communication. And then you add it up, which becomes a 4, or you could hold those twos together and think of them as a 22. It depends on what type of numerology that you work with. I learned many different types, and then I put in an intuitive approach, like I believe everybody should, about any kind of ancient thing that they learn when it comes to yoga, when it comes to any technique, from astrology to anything, even science. Understand the foundation of what our ancestors have taught us, but understand you won't grow past them unless you use your own intuition and put in what speaks to your heart as well. So as much as you can respect them, also respect yourself. I would almost say respect yourself more, but take from that and then put it together. So again, listen to the combination there. Respect where people have come from, respect where you are. The combination is where the beauty begins. So I wanted to jump on real quick so that all of you understand, let go of the things from the past that you're ruminating on. That's Saturn trying to come back and go into its retrograde. Let it go into retrograde. We need a break. And for the 11, let's focus on working together. So focus on you becoming what you want the world to be. And if you want the world to become respectful and loving and caring and free, then you, inside of yourself, let the things you project become respectful, loving, caring, and free. Thank you guys so much for joining me. There is so many different things that are coming down the pipeline right now for all of you. So please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of those. And I hope you have a beautiful day and a beautiful next couple of days. It's okay. Take a breath. We've got this.